What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, it's kind of a sad video. Y'all, I know there's a lot of people out there who really don't like Trisha Paytas and don't like seeing her on Frenemies and stuff like that. However, I am not one of those people. I really enjoy the Frenemies podcast. To be honest with you, it's literally my favorite podcast. I enjoy watching it every single week, and I love the fact that they started getting into vlogs. And it just makes me sad to think that that's going to be coming to an end. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, for kind of a dumb reason. I feel like this is something that they could have totally worked out off of camera, had a meeting about, and just worked on things. You know what I'm saying? And it should not have been talked about on camera, but we'll go and get into details within this video. And I do want to say, I totally understand Trisha Paytas has a very problematic past. I totally get it, but you guys know me. I'm just the type of person that I really genuinely feel people can change and learn from the past. And I've seen growth within her on the Frenemies podcast. And that's where I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, like I really thoroughly enjoy that show. So it does make me sad to think that it could possibly come into an end, but I really do hope that they can figure it out, because I'm like, I really do enjoy that show. Before we go ahead and get into this too, I did want to ask you guys a question, as I am still learning about this, so I do apologize if I come across ignorant or sound ignorant. But I was talking about this on a live video before, and I had referred to Trisha as she. And somebody did correct me and say, oh, you mean they. But this is where I get a little bit confused, and this is where I need to speak to you guys about it, so that way you guys can educate me further on this. With the whole pronouns thing, I totally understand if people prefer to be called they/them. Obviously, them having it within their bios. However, with Trisha specifically, I get a little confused, because in her TikTok bio, I'll go ahead and put a screenshot right here. It says she/her and they/them. So to my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to my understanding, if they have that in their profile, wouldn't that mean that they are okay with being called she or they, right? Please correct me on that, but I'm so in the habit of calling Trisha she, and then she also has that in her bio, so I don't know, I kind of feel like that's okay. Please school me on that, and let me know if that is okay. If it's not okay, then I will go ahead and switch to saying they/them. Obviously, I say she out of habit, you know what I mean? But please school me on that, because yeah, I looked at her profile and I was like, wait, it says she/her and they/them, and that's still up to date as of right now. I'm filming this on June 8th right now, and it's still there. So please educate me on that. But if you guys are interested in today's topic, this is going to be one of those kind of videos where I'm looking for your guys' opinion. I know I'm very opinionated about a lot of things. However, this one, I'm kind of down the middle with. Like, I'm a little bit confused with this, because I totally understand where Ethan's coming from, and I really, actually, to be honest with you, I feel like I agree more with Ethan on this, but then I could kind of see where Trisha is coming from on certain things, which obviously we'll talk about within this video. But the whole situation makes me really sad, because I'm like, yo, I want them to work it out, because I love them together, and I feel like Ethan has grown, I feel like Trisha has grown, and I feel like them together is such a, like, weird duo, but it makes a really good duo, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it just makes me sad. But anyways, y'all, we'll go ahead and talk about it within today's video. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, so that way you'll get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure I'll give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to go follow me on TikTok. I'm posting on there every single day, so I would really appreciate that if you guys show me some love on there. And let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, y'all, so just in case you guys have not seen by now, the Frenemies podcast went up today, which is Frenemies number 39. And I do have to be honest, there is a portion of me that I'm actually kind of surprised that they even made it this far, because I do feel like Trisha is a very, like, temperamental person, you know what I'm saying? I feel like she's up or down. And Ethan specifically made a comment within this podcast, which I could not agree with more. He said, I feel like I shouldn't have to be walking on eggshells around you because we are friends, and I totally agree with that. I did have a friend in the past where I feel like, oh my gosh, like, this person had so many triggers that I'm like, I feel like I can't say anything, because any little thing would trigger them, and it's just a very, very hard thing to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saying, like, oh my gosh, like, I think I like this color, could trigger them in a way. Or you saying, you know what, oh my gosh, it's very cloudy outside, could trigger them in a wrong way, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Trisha Paytas is like that sometimes. I feel like sometimes, depending on her mood, she is very, very, like, fun. She can take a joke, you know what I'm saying? And then there's sometimes where it's like, whoa, you don't know what you can or can't say with her, where obviously it gets a little bit hard to be around her, because you're like, okay, am I going to say this wrong to trigger her? Am I going to say that wrong to trigger her? You know what I'm saying? So I do understand where Ethan is coming from in that aspect. This whole entire topic, just in case you guys did not see within today's episode, it's at the very end of it. If you guys want to just go ahead and fast forward, I will play a small portion of it, so that way you guys have some type of, you know, understanding of the situation. I feel like this whole entire conversation should have never been had on the podcast. It should have literally, they should have paused it, stopped it. The whole team should have literally had a meeting about it, because I do feel like this is just, like, very embarrassing in multiple aspects, you know. I do feel like Trisha Paytas, now I think that she's obviously seeing things a little bit more, because she did post a video about it. I will talk about that in a second. And I do feel like she was being a little bit more self-aware after the podcast, which is obviously filmed, you know, this morning, and the podcast was filmed yesterday or even Sunday possibly. But yeah, I was looking at this thing and I was like, no, this should not have been talked about on camera, because it's like very embarrassing for the crew who is sitting there filming this, and they're talking about their pay, and how Ethan is taking 5% to pay the crew, and Trisha's over here saying that she should be able to make decisions. But this is where I disagree with Trisha, and I say I don't really think that she should be able to make the decisions. At the end of the day, it's Ethan Klein's H3 podcast channel, and he hires the crew for the whole entire of his channel, the whole entire entity of his channel, not just for the frenemies. So how would Trisha be able to make decisions about that? You know what I'm saying? And that's where I get a little bit confused trying to understand her and her argument, because I'm like, it's his channel. So it's kind of like, if this is my channel and I welcome a guest on, I should be in charge of hiring whoever I want to, because at the end of the day, it's my channel, and I'm hiring them for my whole entire channel, not just for that specific, segment on my channel. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm kind of like, oh, I feel a little bit bad, because I just really don't agree with Trisha on this aspect. I really do feel like, okay, girl, you're asking for a little bit too much. Like, I feel like you do get a pretty good deal. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I'm like, okay, I feel bad for Ethan, because he has tried, and I'm just like, oh. Then there's that portion of me that I'm just like, okay, I really wish that Trisha would really just get it together and realize that she has a really, really good thing going on for her, and she's getting paid. She said that this is the most money that she's made from YouTube in the longest time, because her channel really is not doing so well. But anyways, you guys, I want to go ahead and read the comment from Trisha Paytas' video, because I did watch her full video and I did watch the full podcast. So on her video titled Stepping Down from Frenemies, which was actually posted this morning, this is where I do feel like she was being a little bit more self-aware, because she did make the reference within that video where she was saying Ethan mentioned, he shouldn't have to walk on eggshells, and maybe that is true. I feel like that's a good step for her, because in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, I do feel like in the past she has victimized herself so much, and I do think that it's a step forward for her to actually acknowledge that, hey, maybe people do have to walk on eggshells around me, because I do have a lot of triggers. So I do want to point out that right there, and that's why I'm kind of hoping like maybe things will click within her and be like, okay, you know what, I made a bad decision, and in the moment, she was just kind of heated. And what's really crazy, and this is where I say, like, honestly, y'all, if you guys have been watching Trisha Paytas for a long period of time, if you guys saw on the Frenemies podcast, I feel like this is a change for her, because I feel like normally she would have just snapped and she would have been saying all types of mean things. Like, if you guys don't remember, where she was calling Ela, a really bad word. You guys know what word I'm talking about. Literally on the podcast, I feel like she has changed and she's grown since then. So that's why I say, kudos to her for actually growing and learning. But this is what she commented on the video. I'm not going to go ahead and play a clip from that. I will play a clip from the Frenemies podcast, but this is what she titled on that video. By the way, I do apologize for the drilling in the background. My neighbor is literally going to town on drilling. I literally sat here before this video like for 30 minutes waiting for him to stop. It's not stopping, so I do apologize if you guys hear that drilling. This is what she commented on there. Hey guys, I see a lot of your comments and you think I'm making a mistake or being unreasonable. I hear you, and I'm not here to combat that. I'm leaving to ease this tension everywhere. I don't want to be the toxicity in their machine, and I can feel that I am. And it's not good for anyone involved. I'm sorry so many of you are disappointed in me, or that you only became a fan of me again through the show. But I cannot continue. If this makes me look selfish or a brat, so be it. I am grateful for the opportunity, but it's just not for me mentally anymore. And it could be my own brain attacking me, but for myself, right now, I just need to disengage completely. This is without a doubt the hardest decision I've ever made, and it definitely was the most successful thing I've been a part of. So it's with a super heavy heart that I cannot continue. I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart. I don't know what else to say or how to convey what I'm going through right now without making things worse, and I'm clearly terrible at explaining my emotions and thoughts right now. Again, I'm so sorry to disappoint, and that's all I can say. So I do feel like, see, within there she's acknowledging, and this is where I say I can agree with Trisha on some things, that like, good for you for acknowledging maybe it's your own brain attacking you right now, because I do kind of feel like she is making a mountain out of a molehill, and the situation that happened on the podcast really wasn't that big of a deal. And the fact that Ethan hired on somebody new, that's totally his right to do so. It's his channel, you know what I'm saying? And I just really wish that she would see that and just be okay with that. And I really do feel like she's getting a good deal out of it, considering that she gets 50% of the membership. She gets, I believe it's 45%, because 5% goes to the crew. I feel like it's a really good deal. All she has to do is show up, and she doesn't have to do any of the behind the scenes work. For any of my content creators out there, you guys know how difficult it is to come up with video titles and thumbnails and editing, and it's just very timely. So I just kind of wish that she would see, girl, you got a good deal, you got a good thing going on, so why do that? But then also, I do want to acknowledge there's a lot of people in life, whenever something is going good in their life, they have to attack it because they can't believe that it's real. It's like they sit there and they're like, no, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. And then they make it not be true by messing it up themselves and self-sabotaging. And I feel like that's kind of what she's doing right now. So I kind of hope that she snaps out of it, because I'm like, I love this show so much, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and play a small clip right here. It's just like a minute clip. I actually got it from Def Noodles from his Twitter. I'm going to play this clip so that way you guys can see some context of today's podcast if you guys have not watched it.
I just don't see what you just did. That's really
What did I do?
We have to end it now. Like, really.
What did I do?
We got to stop for real. Really. We need
Okay.
to stop. Please. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you
All
can
right.
walk away.
So. No, because I don't want to title this.
It's the pizza curse.
Can we just edit
I'm not
going
to title it Trisha's
right.
thing. It's the pizza curse. It is.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have got pizza. The pizza? Oh no, it was pizza. Trisha, let me just say,
The
I'm
fact,
sorry.
Ethan, that you just did that, you're right. You're
I don't know
right.
what I just
Nothing's wrong
said.
with you. But you don't know how much therapy I go to a week. I go to 4 Zoom
Trisha,
sessions a
you
week.
can't-
No,
I understand,
Ethan,
but okay,
what you
all right.
just said was, you're right, Trisha. Everything's fine. That's insane. Like, the fact that you did that to me is like
It's
insane.
not insane. We're friends.
was
We're
so
having
nice.
a friendly conversation. I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around everything I say.
All right, Ethan,
We
I'm
have
asking to end this. I'm asking
You can leave anytime, Trisha.
But then you're making this thing where we're not ending the show, and you get to sit here and be like, okay, well, that just happened, and you're eating pizza, and then
I
some
will
joke
end
and
the
whatever.
show the minute you walk
All right,
off the
so
frame.
let's just end it, please. Thank you guys for watching, and I don't want it to be a thing where you're just sitting here eating pizza and you become a meme.
So then I'll say, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't want to get in an argument
I
over
really
like
need
your
to
most.
leave.
Okay, all right, we're done. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So yeah, as you guys can see from right there, if you guys watch the full thing, I don't know, I just feel like this whole entire thing was super unnecessary, and I feel like she was getting bothered and irritated out of really nothing. You know what I mean? I really try my hardest to be very objective and very rational, and I really try to look at her side, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like she has grown so much, you know, and I just feel like this is her, like, taking, 2 steps forward and then taking 3 steps back right now in this specific moment, because really there was no reason to get upset about. Like, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it should not have happened. And I'm really sad about it, y'all. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. I feel like she's being very self-aware within her comment. I feel like she's being very self-aware within her video that she uploaded today. And I just really wish that she can just come to terms and be like, okay, you know what? I messed up and I was self-sabotaging and I was going off about this or that when it shouldn't have been that, Also, I do want to mention one thing. She mentioned within the podcast that she didn't like this new segment that they are going to be doing where they ask for fans' advice. She said that she didn't like that. And hey, everyone's fully entitled to their own opinion. If you don't like it and you're on the show, that's something that she should have mentioned before the podcast. She should have said, hey, I don't really like this. I don't think that people want to come to our channel and watch this. Although I disagree. I personally love the idea of doing like a advice style thing. Y'all, I have always said to you guys, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And literally, I've always said that I would have a segment on my podcast where, giving advice to people. I just really feel like that would be a cool thing because it's something that we can all relate to. And if somebody's going through a breakup, and hey, I may have some type of advice that I went through, I just feel like it's a good thing, you know what I'm saying, for everyone who watches, because it just, I don't know, it kind of brings you together in a way, if you know what I'm saying, if that makes any type of sense. But anyways, y'all, I just feel like she should have never had that conversation on camera. I wish that she would have done it separately. But I want to go ahead and read this tweet to you guys right here. This is from Ethan Klein, and this is where he said, I am honestly gutted over this whole thing. Trisha's video this morning was a total surprise to me. I don't really know what more I can say or do. I'm very sorry to all the fans of Frenemies. I know how much it meant to everyone. I did everything I humanly could to save it. This is where I'm like, you know what? I feel like he was being very, very rational, honestly. All I can keep on saying is kudos to Trisha. I definitely 100% have seen growth within her. And like I keep on saying, I do feel like she's been way more self-aware within this than she ever has been. And immediately, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys have seen before in the past where Trisha would make a mistake and y'all, maybe it might take her a month to come out and say, okay, yeah, I messed up. Immediately, I do feel like she was self-aware. I do feel like she was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, maybe it is hard to be around me, and maybe I am the toxic person. And I feel like she's acknowledging those things, and that's where I say I can agree with her, and I could say kudos to her for doing that. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Ethan really did try, and I feel like he gave her a good deal. She gets 50% of the sponsorships. She gets 45% of the AdSense revenue. She was going to get 50% of the Frenemies merch, which was going to be coming out. And this is where I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of sad about this, y'all. I really do enjoy the show. And like I keep on saying, I know there's a lot of people out there who really just genuinely don't like Trisha Paytas. However, if I see growth and I see change in somebody and they change from their past problematic behavior, I'm all for it because like I always say in all my videos, we are humans. We are going to make mistakes and times change and we need to change with them. And hey, we all have said some dumb things and acted inappropriately before in the past. And I feel like this holier than thou mentality that we have within this 2021 era is just low-key, it's kind of toxic within a way. It's kind of like, okay, y'all, I personally feel like change behavior is the perfect form of an apology and change, and that's just me in my opinion. But anyways, y'all, I'm over here being optimistic, and I'm really hoping that she comes to her senses and actually just says, you know what, I messed up, and let's get back into it. But y'all let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. This whole entire thing makes me really sad because if you guys know me and you guys come on my lives, y'all know how much I enjoy the Frenemies podcast, so I will be sad if it is canceled. But I do understand at the end of the day, she has to do what's best for her. Ethan has to do what's best for him, and that's just it. You know what I mean? Anyways, y'all, let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.